Now, going all the way back to when Trump was elected president, we talked about how he had to control the narrative. And there was a battle going on between the central bank, the deep state, where they were both trying to control the narrative of how the economy was doing. Now, in the beginning, when Trump first came into office, the central bank had control. The deep state had control. And they used this control to push their agenda. And as time went on, they were continually pushing their agenda, thinking that they still had control, where they thought, okay, after Trump was in office for a year, we will then start to bring down the economy. And everything that he was doing, we'll just blame it on him. Well, everything has changed. The central bank no longer is in control. They are not controlling the narrative. The deep state, they are no longer in control. They're not controlling the narrative. And we're going to be talking about that in just a bit, and why everything has changed and why Trump has done it. But first, I want to go out to what is happening out in the UK. And we understand that this Brexit deal is absolutely awful. It is terrible. And everyone's starting to get wind of this, and they're starting to see that, yeah, it's weighted towards the EU. This was not a Brexit deal. It was basically the same exact thing that they had, but a lot worse. And we know this for a fact because May tried to hide certain pages from the Brexit people so they wouldn't understand the analysis of it, so they wouldn't understand what was really going on. We even have former U.S. Secretary of State out there, John Kerry. He's in Northern Ireland. And he's saying that the people should accept this deal, or it's going to reignite terror in the region. Now, of course, we know that Kerry is part of the deep state. He's not looking out for the best interests of the people. First of all, you don't have to tell people to accept something if it's very good. If something is already good and people read it and they say, oh yeah, you know what, this works for us, they'll just accept it because it's great for them. When you force someone to take it and tell them that this is good or something bad will happen, that's how you know it's not good. And this is what the deep state has been doing for a very long time. They continually push their agenda by telling you, listen, if you don't do this, well, we're going to see terror. We're going to see a collapse. We're going to see something else happen. And they use this for many, many, many years. But everything is changing right now. And Trump, the Patriots, they are in complete control. Control over what's going on and the narrative. Now, the economy is falling apart. Why? Because they're pushing it to the edge. This is not by accident. This is not the central bank doing it. Well, it is the central bank doing it, but they're under the control of the Patriots. They're telling them what to do. Actually, Putin took control of his private Western central bank, and now he dictates to the central bank. That's what's happening right now. Trump, I do believe, has the inside man, Powell. And he's continually doing what he wants. He can tell Powell to raise the interest rates. He can tell him to freeze them. But we know that this is all being done on purpose. And as we move forward here, we're going to see the economy completely rip itself apart. Now, we talked about raising interest rates for a very long time. We know when the rates go up, everything starts to fall apart. Remember, this entire economy was built on a central bank deep state illusion. And we're getting evidence that it is falling apart very, very rapidly. Now, as the interest rates continually move up, what do we see happening? We see real estate, well, it's starting to implode on itself. Toll Brothers right now announced that its fourth quarter results are absolutely terrible. Orders are now down 13% from a year ago. They were expecting their estimates to be up by 5%, but they're down by 13%. And they're blaming this on the interest rates, of course. Because when you raise the interest rates, what does it do? It bumps a lot of people out of the market. It makes it impossible for these individuals to purchase a home. Now remember, two things were happening at once. Interest rates were coming down and prices were going up. Well, prices are very high. If you start to raise interest rates, what happens? You have high prices, high interest rates, you can't purchase the home. That's what we're seeing right now. And Toll Brothers, they were focusing all their business, a lot of their business, I should say, in California on high-end homes. And orders for the state, they're down by 39%. This is an absolute disaster, but this is the entire plan. This is what they've been pushing. Now, let's think about all of this for a second and take a step back. Now, the central bank, the deep state, they were going to use what Trump was doing with tariffs. They tried to build a narrative around this saying, listen, if Trump continually, pushes these tariffs, he's going to slow down global growth and bring the economy down. And they were going to try to use this because he made the economy great. Now, let's think about this for a second. When he came into office in 2016, the economy was doing pretty much nothing. It was built on an illusion. Trump came in and they thought, okay, we know the economy's built on an illusion. He really can't do anything with it. Well, Trump took that illusion, multiplied it by 5. And then all of a sudden we saw the economy doing fantastically. So they said, okay, wait a minute. Now he just made the economy look great. Now what are we going to do? Wait a minute. He's pushing tariffs. He's getting rid of trade deals. We can use that. Because of these tariffs, he's going to implode the economy. He's going to collapse it. Well, guess what he just did? He just took that away from them. Think about the meeting with Xi Jinping right now. And here are some tweets from Trump. The negotiations with China have already started. Unless extended, they will end 90 days from the date of our wonderful and very warm dinner with President Xi in Argentina. Bob Lighthizer will be working closely with Steve Mnuchin, Larry Kudlow, Wilbur Ross, and Peter Navarro on seeing whether or not a real deal with China is actually possible. If it is, we will get it done. China is supposed to start buying agricultural product and more immediately. President Xi and I want this deal to happen, and it probably will. But if not, remember, I am a tariff man. When people or countries come in to raid the great wealth of our nation, I want them to pay for the privilege of doing so. It will always be the best way to max out our economic power. We are right now taking in billions in tariffs. Make America rich again. But if a fair deal is able to be made with China, one that does all the many things we know must be finally done, I will happily sign. Let the negotiations begin. Make America great again. What did he just do? He just told everyone that there's going to be a deal. He just told everyone, the central banks, the deep state, the mainstream media, that the tariffs are going to disappear. Now, let's think about this for a second. The economy, using manipulation, is booming right now. There are going to be deals made with China. Now, behind the scenes, everything that is happening right now is for the transition. All these trade deals, these bilateral trade deals, getting rid of TPP, getting rid of NAFTA, getting rid of everything the deep state and the central bankers have set up, working with Xi Jinping, making deals. This is for the transition because the entire economic structure is about to change. It's not going to be the same because right now we're on this petrodollar system. What is happening in the Middle East? Well, the wars are coming to the end. Remember, the deep state, they had their paid mercenary forces on the ground with U.S. forces trying to keep the puppet regimes in power in all these Middle Eastern countries. Now the people are taking control of their countries. They wanted Syria. It's not happening. It's all falling apart. Everything that we know of is completely changing. This petrodollar system was set up by Kissinger, the deep state, the central banks. That is coming to an end. The dollar, the way we know it, the Federal Reserve note, this is also coming to an end. The central bank is coming to an end. And now Trump has just taken control of the complete narrative. He has the economy booming with manipulation. He's doing away with tariffs, making deals with China. Now the deep state, now the IMF, now the biz, all of these players where they've been telling us that tariffs have been slowing down global trade. Well, now what do? He's just completed the first part of the plan, controlling the narrative. Now, he's going to continue on blaming the destruction of the economy on who? The Fed, the central bank. This is all part of the plan. He's going to be out there saying that the Fed is destroying his economy. The central bank is destroying his economy. He wants everyone to understand and know who is going to be responsible for when this economic system comes down. And there's no way out of this. We need to destroy this economic system. This is a central bank system. This is not a people's system. We do not have a U.S. government by the people dollar. We are using a Federal Reserve note. This is a piece of paper that is attached to debt. That's what we have. This is all about to change. Get prepared because we're heading into the transition. We're heading into a time period where we'll be getting rid of this entire economic system.